Welcome back to Critical Coverage, your no-nonsense guide through the drama of Capitol Hill. Today, we're diving into a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing that got unusually candid. Senator John Kennedy faced off with Ninth Circuit nominee Eric Tung, and trust me, it was anything but routine. Kennedy kicked things off by resurfacing Tung's college essay from 2004, where Tung wrote that women are simply better than men at some things. Kennedy pressed, was he saying men were worse? Tung held the line. He stood by his words, insisting he never claimed women were worse, just better at certain things, period. Kennedy, true to form, cut straight through the spin. Praising women doesn't mean trashing men.
Mr. Tung, you were asked about some of the things you said back in college. And one of the things that you were asked about was a statement you made in 2004. I believe that women are simply better than men at some things. Did you say that?
I did say that, Your Senator.
You said that you believe that women are better at some things, right?
That's right, Senator.
You didn't say women are worse at some things, did you?
I did not say that, Senator.
Just want to be sure I understand. How is that denigrating women?
It was not denigrating women, and I did not intend it to be so, Senator.
Yeah. I mean, you said they're better at some things. If you said they were worse at some things, you would be denigrating women, wouldn't you?
I would, Senator.
I don't know if I asked you this, but you didn't say they could do things worse. You said better, right? Just want to be sure I understand.
That's right, Senator.
Then the conversation turned constitutional. Kennedy asked, does the government itself have free speech rights? Tung explained that the First Amendment is about protecting citizens, not the government. But there's a twist. Under the government speech doctrine, sometimes the state gets to broadcast its own message and isn't always required to stay neutral.
Does government have free speech rights?
Government does have free speech rights.
How so? The First Amendment doesn't mention government, except to the extent that government, it is there to protect, for government, for us to have protection against government restricting our speech. How can government have free speech?
Senator, you are right to the extent that the First Amendment refers to Congress. Congress shall not make any law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. But there is a government speech doctrine that allows the government to convey a political message it wishes to, and the government is not committed to a policy of neutrality at all times.
Here's where it gets interesting. Kennedy brought up the Boston flag case. Boston let all sorts of flags fly at City Hall, but denied a Christian flag. They claimed it was government speech, but the Supreme Court disagreed. Tung broke it down. Once the government opens a public forum, it can't pick and choose viewpoints. Not letting up, Kennedy mentioned the Texas license plate saga. Texas refused a specialty plate with the Confederate flag. This time, the Supreme Court backed Texas, calling it government speech. Tung admitted, the law here, it's a tangled mess. Whether it's a public forum or government speech can totally flip a case. With just seconds left, Kennedy circled back to those Yale remarks. One last time, did Tung mean men were worse? Tung patiently clarified, just better at some things, not worse at others. Kennedy nodded, satisfied.
Have you ever been to Boston?
I have been to Boston.
Okay. You seen the Boston City Hall?
I believe I have, Senator.
There's a plaza in front, and there's some flagpoles. And Boston, when different groups are having protests or demonstrations or rallies on the plaza, allows those groups to fly their flag. Someone wanted to fly a Christian flag, and the city of Boston said no. And the Supreme Court and the city of Boston said, that's our choice. That's government speech. We don't want to fly a Christian flag. So how come the Supreme Court said that they had to fly the Christian flag if government has free speech?
Senator, if the government opens up its plaza to all comers, so to speak, then it's restricted under the public forum doctrine in terms of what viewpoints it would decide to favor or
That's
not.
not necessarily so, is it, Counselor? I mean, let's suppose Texas, this actually happened. Someone in Texas lets people buy specialty license plates. You know, I love little warm puppies and stuff like that. You can buy a specialty license plate. And somebody wanted to have a specialty license plate that pictured the Confederate flag. And Texas said no. And the Supreme Court said Texas doesn't have to do it, government speech. So isn't that inconsistent with what you just said?
Senator, it is not inconsistent. This area of law is extremely complicated when something qualifies as a public forum such that viewpoint discrimination might not be allowed versus a public benefit and public conditions that the government can rightly impose on others, on its recipients. Then that shades into government speech, in which case the government would have more control over what kind of speech gets projected into the public square. But there is potential for tension there between the two doctrines that you raised, Senator.
The chairman's going to gavel me to shut up in a second. I just want to be sure I understand. Back at Yale, you said there are some things that women are better at, right?
Yes, Senator.
Not worse.
That's right.
Better.
Yes, Senator.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So what do you think? Was Tung convincing or just dodging? Drop your hot takes in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you want more straight talk on Washington's biggest moments. This is Critical Coverage. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next report.